Okay, everybody gone through the things and completed the work which was given in last week.
Sir, one problem is not done by me. I done it, but
Which one?
sir, even odd number uh, print a series of even and odd number given up to a given range. This problem.
Okay, let's. You can share your screen and we will start from there.
Sure, sir, sure. Sir, is it visible?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So when you were printing even or odd number, you need to have a range, right?
Yes, sir.
So there is no point to uh, write a while loop. You can simply write a for loop. Say for I equals to 1, I is less than equals to 10 or 20 or whatever it is, and I plus plus. Let's rewrite it.
Okay, sir.
With while also it is possible. I'm not saying it is not possible, but it would be more easy to write that with, with a for loop. The same name is already there.
Yes, sir.
Simply write a for loop. So you have defined x and y. So let's do with x equals to 1, x less than equals to 10 or 20 or whatever it is. Put 20. Okay, 10. That is fine. Go ahead. So now what you have to do, you have to only check whether the remainder is better to you print the even numbers in one method and print the odd numbers in another method.
Oh,
So just check whether the number, which number you have to check, your loop variable, because the loop variable is increasing. So you will check on top of your loop variable whether that is divisible by 2 or not. So x mod 2, if that is equals to 0, then it is even. Then only you will print for even. And you can just write another method for odd number where uh, in place of x you can just write that for loop with y, and just check whether y mod 2 not equals to 0, then that would be odd.
sir, in case of while using the mode operation, here I using the while loop. No, if statement only.
If is actually required, If you are not increasing, there are other ways as well. But if you are checking with mod, then obviously you have to write more if. Better you put this even numbers are outside this for loop, right? Because otherwise even numbers are will be printed every time whenever there is any even number. So just put that system, yeah, copy this, put that outside the for loop. No, no, before starting this for loop, in this loop you are just checking the event, right?
Yes, sir.
So before line 5 you have to put, and in this loop, within the loop in line 8 put x. You are checking x only, right? Plus single quote, put a space here, otherwise it will be just one after another and we cannot understand the same thing. So just do the same thing for odd number. Shubhavan, seems like some network problem. For others, is it fine? Like, have you completed this, or if you haven't done, then at least did you get the idea?
Sir, I have completed this.
Okay.
Hello, hello, sir. Am I audible, sir? Hello,
Yes, now you are audible.
sir. Actually, there is a power cut. Sorry, sir.
No issue. So for odd number, do the same thing.
Okay, sir.
You can write that within this method only. There is no issue. Copy from line 5 to line 10. In place of even number, put odd number, 4 double T. In place of x, put y, though you can use x again, but as you have already taken two variables, let's do with that. It would be not equals to 0. No, Priyanka, you are not audible. Great, execute that. You don't need a dot y or a dot x. You don't need to put that value. We are only checking for 1 to 10 for now.
Yes, sir. Successfully done. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Or 1, 1, 2, 5, 7.
So you can do this in other ways as well. Now go back to your class. So if you start from 1, x equals to 1, x less than equals to 10, you can just simply write x equals to x plus 2. In that situation, all the odd numbers will be coming. And if you start the next one in line 12, if you put y equals to 2, y is less than equals to 10, and y equals to y plus 2, then only with simple system.debug you can print that. You don't need to check mod then, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
that
sir.
is another way of this implementation. Correct. Now, what you can do if you want to take the limit or the starting point and ending point, then what you have to do? You have to take two more variables. Okay. But rather, I would say you have to take total six variables. And you can just put, uh, say, that is limit one, start one, start two, limit one, limit two. And you can put that x is equal to start one, x is less than equals to limit 1, x plus plus. In that situation, what you can do, that start one and limit one, if you put the values, if you set the values when you are running this class, then you can, right now it is actually giving you the even or odd numbers between 1 to 10. In that situation, you can get the even or odd numbers depending on specific limit or range. Say I'm saying from 120 to 150, give me all the odd numbers. Or I am just changing this value, start and end value, the range actually in dynamically. In that situation, you have to take the starting point and ending point. Two variables, you can store these two values, and in x equals to, in place of x equals to 1, you can put x equals to start 1 and x is less than equal to limit 1. In that situation, you cannot say x equals to x plus 2 will give you the even number or odd number, because you don't know from where you will start. In that situation, you have to use this math.mod only. Clear, Shushovan?
Yes, sir. In this case, you explain the second one, that is when we accessing a range of numbers. Suppose
Right.
130 to 230.
And if I just want to put that range dynamically, at least when I am executing this, at that point, if I want to do that, then we can simply make the things work in that way. Like x will start from one variable, x will go up to another variable.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, so it is easy. It is not a very big deal, but uh, for everybody, write that logic. Right. What I have already explained, just put that in your logic and make it a foolproof program, so that we don't uh, we don't have uh, any logical error. Okay, let's not go into infinite loop in any way. So make sure that your program don't run into infinite loop, and print all the odd numbers between a range. Okay, so it will start with some value, it will end to some value, and put all the odd numbers, print all the odd numbers in between that range. Okay, everybody just write it down, everybody, and make sure that your loop do not go into an infinite loop. So should not be take more than 10 minutes. So I'm coming back in 10 minutes and I will check for everybody.
So now I am stop my sharing.
Yep. Anyone is speaking anything? Okay. You have 3 more minutes, so complete it.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Rita brother.
Sir, please repeat one more time, sir. I can't get the logic.
It is simple. You need to have a range. You have to print all the odd numbers between that range. That range will be range means the starting point and ending point of say 230 to 270. I need all the odd numbers there. I need to print. So this range will be given when that program will be executed. Okay, it will not be hard coded. So only make sure that you don't run into any infinite loop when you are writing this logic.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Yeah, Prashant.
sir, actually I can't get those things, sir. Please give me some time to get those things.
Yeah, you carry on.
I'm facing some issue in coding this
We will check. We will check. Whatever you can do, complete that part, then we will check.
Sir, done.
Done.
Yes, sir, done, sir.
Kushun, share your screen. Let's see what you have done. Kushun, are you there? Where is the logic? At least try to write that logic. I have already, when I was showing Shushabon, I have already told what you have to write for this to write this program. So at least try to do that. Anyway, you try of your own, then we will come back. Anyone else completed? I know Dipanjan has already completed, except Dipanjan.
Yes, sir, completed.
Okay. Anyone else? Priyanka, share your screen. Let's see what you have done. Network issue. Okay. Anyone else who does not have network issue? Ritop Dada,
No, sir, I can't complete this.
share your screen. Let's see what you have done till now. Ritop Dada, at least write the logic of, say, it is from 1 to 10. You have to find out the odd numbers.
Sir, give me more 2 minutes, sir. I will write it.
Okay. So 2 minutes for everybody then. Guys, at least write the logic what you can write. Like at least write the program to print the even, so the odd numbers between 1 to 10 or something at least.
Yes, sir, I have done it, sir.
Okay, show me. First thing is that remove the else part. We are only dealing with no, yeah, remove the else part. Put not equals to 0. So then it would be the odd number. Okay. So every time the odd number is will be printed. So get this part out of this for loop.
Yes, sir, this should be written here.
Yep. Just before the for loop. Why so many brackets? Put semicolon after that. Right. So just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Indentation is very bad anyway. Print I, that is fine. No, yeah, put some space, put semicolon at the end, save it. First, let me see where the issue is. Don't put second bracket there, just put the enter and then put the second bracket. Okay, now what I have told, like you have to take the starting point and ending point, right? So define, you have defined A, just define B in the same way. Line 3. After A equals to 50, just put comma and put B equals to something. Now within your for loop, that is 7. Put I equals to A. No, not in the condition. That is the condition, right?
Yes,
Whenever it will be equal to I, then it will get out of the loop. And also that is equal to, that should not be equal to. That is fine. Put where you have put I equals to 0, put I equals to A and I less than equals to B.
okay.
So in this situation, what will happen when I will execute this program? I can define what is A and B. I can put the value of A and B. So it will be a dynamic one. Like for any range, I can just print the uh, odd
Odd numbers.
numbers, right?
Yes.
But there is a loophole. So try to find it out. Is it clear to everybody whatever is written right now?
Yes, sir.
Everybody can see the screen, right? Showed.
Yes, sir.
Priyanka, you have already told yes, sir. So I believe everybody understood what you have you had to write. Fine. Now I am giving you another 5 minutes to think about it, where this program can get into some issue. And that issue is infinite loop. What is infinite loop? I have written some condition and that condition will never be met. Like this I is less than equals to B. This condition will never met. Then what will happen? This loop will execute infinitely, and it cannot be infinite because anyway integer has a range, whether that is a very big range, but that is also a range, right? So to some point, in some way, it will actually get ended, and if you write this kind of logic, uh, compiler will tell you that there is some issue in your program. But the point is, when or how we can run into infinite loop in this situation, and what we need to do to prevent, how we can prevent. Is the point clear to everybody?
Sir, this B should be greater than A.
Exactly, that is the thing you have to do. So put that in your logic where you have to put it. If your A is greater than B, then what you should not do? First, tell me what you should not do if A is greater than B. Simply, you should not execute this for loop, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, that loop will be. So, if even like the simplest thing, you have already told the logic. Like if A is less than B, then only I should execute this for loop. So put that if statement
Before
uh,
for
before for, and put the whole logic, the whole for within that if.
if.
Write it down. Go to line number 6, put enter. Yeah, the indentation is very bad. You must put proper indentation when you are writing code. Otherwise, you will not understand where you have missed the second bracket. Anyway, write the logic first, then we can fix it. So, what was the logic? No, A should be less than B, right? Then only you should execute this loop. Put second bracket, remove the closing one, yeah, and put the closing one after the completion of for. No, for loop is not getting completed there. That is the if. In line 8, highlight, just put your cursor in line 8 after yeah. No, after this one. So your second bracket will be after that. So this is the worst way of writing. Don't put it there. Put at least one enter and put the second bracket. This indentation is pathetic. Select the whole program. Control A. Put shift tab. Yep. So this is what we had to do when we had to look into that range. Clear to everybody.
Yes, sir.
If it is not clear for anyone, just let me know.
Sir, one more time, please repeat.
What to repeat?
Sir, this if A is like,
If A is greater than B, then what will happen? Say the value of A is 100 and value of B is 50. So your for loop, that is I equals to A, it will start from 100. The first value would be 100, and then it will check A is I less than equals to B. It will say no, it is not. Anyway, it is not. It will not go into that loop in that scenario. So the infinite loop can only happen if you are putting I minus minus here. Okay. So uh, what we were doing, like it is a range. If the starting point is greater than the ending point, anyway, it will not go into that loop. So this the first if is fine, but that cannot ensure that you will not run into infinite loop. So what can happen? Say obviously if A is greater than B, then it will not go into your for loop and it will not execute. So this condition in line 7 is not that much required. But the important part is that what we had to check, that is I is growing, I is increasing by 1. If I is decreasing by 1 in this scenario, say I minus minus, in that scenario what will happen? Like say you have started A from 50, B is less than equals to, like the condition is when I is less than equals to 70, till that time this loop will execute. Now I am decreasing the value of I. So the starting value of I was 50, and now I have written, in place of I plus plus, I have written I minus minus. What will happen? First value is 50, then second value is 49, then the next value is 48. So it will never reach to 70. In that situation, it will become infinite loop. So what I was trying to say before this, that is what can run you into infinite loop. So if we have to ensure that that it is not something we should not run into infinite loop, we have to be very cautious about this, that my end or my checking condition, I will reach sometime to that point. Okay, that is that part I just wanted to uh, explain, that when I am writing this condition, I have to be sure that whatever logic I am writing, that must ensure that I will reach to my ending condition. But anyway, what I was trying to say, that is not depending on this line number 7 and this condition. Anyway, that condition, if even if I am not writing that if, this for loop will execute, because if A is greater than B, then it will not go into this for loop anyway. So this if is redundant now. Line number 7 is redundant, that can be removed. Ritubrata. Because the same condition you are checking through I in for loop itself. That condition is not at all required. That if is not at all required. Remove the bottom second bracket as well. Line number 14. Okay. So when you have Shushovan, when you have started writing your logic with while, at that time I asked you to move back to for. This is one of the reason, because when we are writing for, it is easy to calculate and look into, like till now you are writing very small codes, but if it is a very long one, it is always easy to manage that using for, because in the same line you can almost understand from where you are starting, where you are going, and how you are moving through the loop, like increasing by value 1 or decreasing by value 1, something like that. But in while you have to define this, like how your loop variable will work, that you have to write of your own. Now let's do one more thing, that is, let's reverse one number. How we can reverse one number?
Sir, I have already done it. Can I show?
Yep.
Sorry, sir.
How it is reverse of a number? Let me check.
Sir,
No,
reverse
it
means
is not only printing. You have to reverse the number and store that.
105 is 501.
Yeah, 501 will be stored in a variable, integer variable. So, do you know the concept of palindrome?
No, sir.
A number from front or from reverse, in whatever way I look into, the number will be the same. Say 121. If I look it from left hand side or right hand side, in both the situation, the number would be the same. If I do the reverse of that number, then also it would be the same number, right?
Yes.
Say anything like any one digited number is palindrome number. Beyond one digit, if there is anything like any number like 11 is palindrome, 22 is palindrome. If all the digits are the same, then anyway that would be palindrome. And the other thing is that, say any number 12921, that number is also a palindrome. So if you have to check palindrome, then you have to store that value. The reverse value you have to store in a variable. So uh, just store that value. Whatever you have done, that will print in reverse way.
Yes.
Like the
104,
digits will be printed in reverse way. That is fine. That is good. But let's write a program to check whether a number is palindrome or not.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So let's complete this thing.
Can I off, sir, my screen? Helen.
Any progress?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, at first I am checking at first I am reversing the number, a number given. Then I am checking the number which have taken input and the reverse number is equal to that.
Right. That is the logic you have to build.
Yes, sir.
Abhishek, share your screen. Let's see what you have done till now.
স্যার ফার্স্টে একটা ইন্টিজারকে আমি একটা ভ্যালু পুট করবো তো?
হ্যাঁ, obviously. এখনো অবধি কোনো প্রোগ্রাম হাতে করে লিখেছো?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
ইন্টিজার ভ্যারিয়েবল ডিক্লেয়ার করার জন্য একটা ইন্টিজার ভ্যারিয়েবলের নাম দিতে হয়।
ও,
আর তুমি যদি মেথডের মধ্যেই এটাকে ডিফাইন করো, then why you need to define that as public? Anyway, you don't know what is public till now. That is fine. Define that I outside the method within the class only, so that you can put the value when you are running the program.
আচ্ছা।
So within how you can reverse a number. Important thing is to build your logic. Here you can always do one thing that is called tracing table. Okay.
হুম
Open one Excel. Do you have Excel in your
হুম
system? Okay. What is your number? Any number.
19121
Yeah. So how you can reverse this number? So you have to extract the last digit first.
হুম
So what is your last digit? That is
1
1.
হুম
Put 1 in your next column in row 2. Row 2, column A. Put 1. In row 3, what should be your number?
2
1, 2.
হুম
No, not 2. It should be 1, 2. You are reversing it.
হ্যাঁ তো স্যার
So
এইটা
in row 3, put
1
1, 2. Row number 3.
ও 1 2 হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
So in row number 4, what would be the value? 1,
1
2,
to
1.
1
And then
1 to 19
1 to 1, 9. Then 1 to
2 1 1 to
9.
1
1
9
to 1, 9, 1.
1 হুম
Right?
হুম
So if you have to build this every time, what you were saying, that if you can extract the last digit
Hmm.
and if you can put that value, so first, when you are extracting the first number, the last digit would be 1, correct?
Yes.
So next time when you are just going to the next value, that is 1 2, in that situation 1 is moving in left side. So how you can move 1 into left side? So with that value 1, if you multiply that with 10 and then add the next digit, then this can be
Hmm.
12,
Hmm.
correct?
Hmm. Means that first I have to divide the given number by 10,
Correct.
and then I have to multiply it with 10
Right.
and add it with the previous number.
Correct. So then what you need to do, that is how, if we have to make it as a formula, then
Hmm.
what it needs to be done? What would be your formula? Your formula is whatever value previously you have found, multiply that with 10. Say that value is x.
Yes. Hmm.
Put x into 10 plus,
X
just
divide.
in row 2, column B, right?
Hmm.
X into 10 plus REM, that is the remainder. So if I repeat this thing for all these things, all the rows, then what I have to do? First time when I am multiplying x with 10 and the value of, if the value of x is 0 and the remainder value is 1, then I will get the value 1, right?
Yes. Hmm.
In number, in row number 3,
Hmm.
again x into 10 plus rem. So if the value of x is 1 now, then if I multiply that with 10 and my remainder value is 2, then I will get 12.
Yes. Hmm.
So in that situation, what I am looking into, there are two things. First thing is that in column B, whatever I am getting, that needs to be assigned to x.
Hmm.
First value was 0, value of x was 0. So 0 into 10 plus
Zero.
1
Hmm.
will be 1.
1.
Second time, this value, this one value, I have to assign to x. So in next row, what will happen, that 1 into 10 plus 2 will be 12.
12. Hmm.
Now the important point, how I can get 2 in my remainder? Then I have to remove this 1 first.
Huh.
19121. So after the first pass, I need to remove the last digit, right?
Yes. Hmm.
So after second pass, I have to remove the second digit. Then only the number, with that number, I can get the remainder as a new number, right?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay, let's. Is it clear to everybody what I was telling? Let's get back to the program. So first, what you have to do, you have to do a repetitive job. So obviously, we have to go through a loop.
Look.
Let's write a while loop now. While I am taking whatever number I am taking that is greater than 0, I will move till that part. Why I am saying that? We will come to this. Say put I is greater than 0. Second bracket open close. put enter.
I
Right.
am.
Now what you are doing, you are storing the remainder, right?
Hmm.
Put x is equal to, how you can get the remainder? Math.mod. So first value is I, your original value was I, and by exactly that should be 10.
Hmm.
So put semicolon, because if you divide by 10, then only you can get the
Reminder.
remainder. Then what I have to do, I have to add it up, right?
Hmm.
So that means x is equal to, x is equal to
X equals to
x into 10.
okay.
X was my remainder.
Reminder plus
If
X
no,
first
you,
bracket.
if you have to write this, then you have to change the previous
Hmm.
variable, or you have to change this one. So put,
Y
yeah,
equals
in
to mat.
line 5, put that as rem. It would be easy for you to
Correct.
identify from by comparing the Excel. Put semicolon after rem in line 6.
Hmm.
Okay. Now what you have to do, you have to cut off the last value, correct?
Hmm.
So for that, what we can do, x is
Great.
equal to x by
Oh,
10.
oh X. X equals to X by 10.
Put semicolon. Now, what are the new variables you have used? One is x, one is rem. So
Hmm.
define those first. You can define that within the method itself or outside the method as well, whatever it is. Ideally, you should be defining that within the method. So after line, in line 3, go to line 3, end of line 3, and put enter. Integer space, then define x is equal to 0 and rem is equal to 0.
Sir, the last line I can understand, sir. X is equal to x by 10.
Uh, you didn't understand that part. Then I will come to this once again. Put semicolon. Now look into this. X is equal to x by 10, and x is integer. So what x can store? X can store only whole number, right?
Hmm.
So if I divide it by 10, so what would be the value? Say the value, the initial value was
2
19121.
1.
If I
Hmm.
divide it by 10, what is the value?
1912.1.
192.1.
Hmm.
Now this point 1 part will get discarded because I am storing that in integer, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So it will cut it off. Ritobroto, did you get the point?
No, sir.
Okay. X, what is the type of the variable x?
Integer.
What kind of value it can store?
It is a
Whole
whole
number,
number.
right?
Yes.
So if I try to assign some value 121.5, then what will be stored in integer?
121.
Correct. Now what I am doing, x is equal to x by 10. That means what is the first value of x? Ideally, this should not be x is equal to x by 10. It should be I is equal to I by 10 in your code, because
Ah.
x is the value which you are storing the reverse number. So now what will happen, Rito brother, that I is equal to I by 10 means the original value was 19121. You are dividing it by 10. So the value is 1912.1. So this precision point 1 will be discarded and only 1912. This will be stored in I. Is
Yes,
it
sir.
clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now it will go back to the while loop. The definition of the while loop is I greater than 0 till now. The answer is yes.
Huh.
It will come back to this loop. It will try to find out the remainder. In this situation, the remainder will be 2 for the second pass. And what it will do, previous value of x was 1. So it will multiply 1 with 10. And the remainder value is 2. So it will be 12. And again, it will divide 1912 by 2. So the new value of I would be 191. Is it greater than 0?
Yes.
In line 5 it will check. So again it will go into that loop. It will extract 1 with 12. It will multiply with 10 plus 1, that is
1.
1 to 1. And again it will divide the value of I by 10. So the new value would be 19. Is it greater than 0? The answer
Yes.
is yes. Again it will come back. In remainder it will take the value 9. My previous value was 1 to 1. It will multiply it by 10 and it will add 9. So the value will be 1219. Correct? So
Yes.
at the end, what will be how this loop will end? Because the last value of I would be 1 and 1 will be divided by 10. So that would be zero point 0.1. So that is 0.1. So the value of I would be 0. It will go to that while loop. It will check whether I is greater than 0. The answer would be no. So it will go out of the loop. Clear?
Okay.
Clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear.
So now if I have to do check palindrome, then what I have to do, I have to check the original value and this reverse value, right? So where I am getting this reverse value? In the variable x, right?
Yes.
When we have completed the loop, the final value of x will give me the reverse of the original number. Correct?
Yes.
So if I,
Equal to x, then
okay, so then how we can check whether a number is palindrome or not now?
if a number after reverse is same,
Right.
then
How to write that logic? What I
uh,
have to write now?
if I is equal to x, then it is a parallel.
I is equal to x.
Yes.
Okay. The simple smallest mistake again you have done. What is the value of I now?
I by 10.
I is equal to I by 10 means when you are going out of this loop, then what is the value of I at the end of this loop?
0.
Right. Because only when the value of I is 0, only at that time it will go out of this loop. So after this loop, when I am trying to check the original value and the reverse value, I cannot check that with I because I have already destroyed the value of I. So what I have to do?
X is equal to I.
How you can check x is equal to I, Ritobdoto? What is the value of I after this loop?
0.
Then how you can check? 0 was not your initial value.
Sir, remainder, sir. X equals to remainder hole.
The remainder is only a digit within the loop when you were executing that loop and trying to fetch the last digit. Your original value was stored in I, correct?
Hmm.
You have destroyed the value. So what you have to do to check it now? I'm not taking your answer, Dipanjan. I know you will give the answer. So, Priyanka, this REVI, what is that? How you can check that reverse? Because your original value was in I, the value of I in process of this loop, you have made that 0. Then how you can check or compare the reverse value, the final outcome of the reverse with your original value? Guys, simple. You have to copy that value in somewhere else. You are destroying that value. So before destroying that, you have to keep that copy of that value somewhere else. Simplest thing, you will define another integer variable and you will assign the value of I at the beginning of the program in that variable, so that at the end, when the original value of I is destroyed, at least I can get that value from another variable. In line 2, put enter, define another integer. I believe Priyanka have got the point. Define j, integer j.
J is equal to I.
Exactly. Put semicolon. এবার সেমিকোলনটাও কি আমি বলবো তবে তুমি পুট করবে? স্টেটমেন্টটা তো শেষ করতে হবে। Then what I have to do? What I have to check in line 11?
If J is equal to X.
J is equal to x.
X.
Single equal to is assignment operator, double equal to is condition checking operator.
Yes.
Clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
I want to see the code to check whether a number is prime or not next day. I am not moving ahead today. I will give you another day time. Go through all the things, whatever we have done till now. Ideally, you should have completed that. I know probably Dipanjan has completed that, except Dipanjan. All of you, you just need to write down the program, take one number, and check whether that number is prime or not. So today we have discussed enough logic, right? How you can do this, what you need to check for that. Next day, I want to say that you have written the program, how to check a number whether that is prime or not. Clear to
Sir,
everybody?
sir, prime number checking is done by me, sir.
You have completed. Very good.
Yes, sir.
Check that next day.
Okay, sir.
And guys, this the time I am giving you to build your logic. How to build a logic, that is important. So from when I will start going into the properties, the functionalities, actually, you will not get the time to understand how to write the logic. How to write a logic that needs to be clear to you. And you have already written flows. So these logic, I believe these things should not be creating issue for you. Put some time, put some effort. I'm not giving you anything else to read, but go through. Even if you think you need to write anything else, just go to Google and take any very simple, like these are the school, college, not even college. Nowadays, whoever has any programming language, any school level project, it will look into all these things: how to find out prime, how to do a number reverse. Uh, there are so many things. Just simply write one another program, that is, find the sum of the digits of a number. Sum of the digits means if my number is 1, 2, 3, then sum of digits means 1 plus 2 plus 3. Write this program. There are so many things, like these are the simplest things. Um, you can, in place of prime number, you can just take a range and print all the palindrome numbers. Print the number of Fibonacci series up to a range. The range will be given by the user. Like when I am executing the program, at that time, I will give the range. So what is Fibonacci series? So last two numbers will be summed up to get the next number. So it will always start from 0 and 1. Okay. Fibonacci series is that always it will start from 0 and 1. You can think that it will start from 1 and 1. That is also fine. But anyway, let's start with 0 and 1. So first two digits of Fibonacci number will always be 0 and 1. And then how you can get the next number? Next number is 0 plus 1. So next number would be 1 in Fibonacci series. Next number is 1 plus 1, that is 2. Next number is 1 plus 2 equals to 3. Next number is 2 plus 3, that is 5. Next number is 3 plus 5 equals to 8. So next number of this series, what should be the next number of this series?
13, sir.
Right. What would be the next number of this series except Ritobroto and Dipanjan?
21.
Hmm.
21.
Correct. Print this series. There is another program you have to write. Write all this program, get your basic logic thing clear. How to derive a logic and how to write that within program. That is important. And next day I will start with what is constructor and what is function. So before that, I want to check all these things. Fine. Let me stop the recording.